Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Ajit. Can you allow me to share the screen?
Yes, 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 definitely. Yeah, yeah.
One second.
Done. One sec, we are going YouTube live, and then we'll just. Yeah, now we are live on YouTube as well. Yes, we are live now. Okay, so yeah, we have. Guys, please put off your mics. Hello, everyone. Okay. So I'll just share the YouTube link with the. Okay. Okay, so now we are live on YouTube as well. I have shared the link with both the coordinators. Okay, and we will start in a minute. Just a minute. So let the participants join because only 25 participants, 20 participants have joined here. Only 20. So let's wait for 2 or 3 more minutes. Then we can start.
Yeah, let's wait for 5 minutes, sir.
Yeah, sure, sir. We will wait for 5 minutes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, please share the YouTube link, sir. I've shared to.
Yeah, already shared to students, sir, just now.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I mean,
Thank
not a
you.
problem. Let them join in Zoom also. If they want to join in Zoom, they can join in the Zoom. It's okay, no problem. Anywhere they
Yes.
join, it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Okay, so okay, so before we start the Australia, the career guidance about Australia, I will just make a small announcement. Dr. Tarun, and your screen will go for a moment. Then again, you can share.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah. So we are coming up with India's one of the biggest conference and first time ever in India. First time ever in India, we are conducting this conference on medical therapy management. Guys, on medication therapy management, nobody has conducted, and it is very new trend in India on medical therapy management. We are conducting the first international symposium on medication therapy management 2020 in December, and the dates are here, as we can see at the downside will come. So the theme of this conference is reconceptualizing patient care, and we are conducting this conference. Not only we have the bigger associations from India, like the Indian Pharmaceutical Association, World Youth Heart Federation, and Association of Community Pharmacists of India, ACPI, IPA, and WYHF. So if you are interested in medication therapy management, you can join us in this conference, and there are the links I will share with you. You know why I'm telling? Because if you are if when we are talking about the foreign countries, when we are talking about Australia, New Zealand, and USA, they, their pharmacists main job is about the medication therapy management. They play a key role. Pharmacists play a key role in medication therapy management in foreign countries, and these are started from USA and Australia, and they are major countries which follow the MTM in their every disease. So we are trying to start the MTM in India. So that's why in that way only we are conducting this first conference in India on MTM in association with the Indian Pharmaceutical Association, IPA, WIHF, Association of Community Pharmacists of India. So I would request and I will ask everyone to join these conference, everyone to join these conference this conference for the MTM learning, right? So this conference is on 19th and 20th December 2020. It is virtual, completely it is virtual, 19th and 20th December. Okay. So what is about the conference? This is an international event which is covering the various specific domains of MTM and evidence-based medicine. And highlights of this conference are: this is one of the most unique MTM symposium in India. We have eminent national and international speakers. It is multifaceted education approach. We have diverse subtopics. We have inclusion of delegates from diverse healthcare communities. Like we have we can include medical, nursing, pharmacy, or any other healthcare students as well. They can learn about the medication therapy management, right? This conference is conducting to empower the students to identify, prioritize, and to resolve the medication related problems through practical, real life, and case analysis. Right. And these are the topics which we are covering in that. The importance and significance of MTM in existing healthcare system, future perspectives and challenges in implementing the MTM, then current scenarios of MTM, role of healthcare professionals in MTM, and then we are conducting the sessions on disease specific MTM as well. Disease specific, we are going for oncology, diabetes mellitus, respiratory diseases, cardiology, and infectious diseases. Here is the link for registration. This is the link. I will share this link in your chat box and in other these things, but you will get the email of this also. And the last date for registration is December 10th 2020. This is 2 days workshop, 19 and
Sir?
20 December, right? And one
లేదు
more
సార్ అది చెప్తున్నారు.
very interesting thing, you all can submit your abstracts. All kind of abstracts are accepted. Maybe you, if you have the clinical cases, you can accept. We are here to encourage you to present your clinical cases. As you are the students, we can understand you do not have the studies or regular studies or research studies, so you can present your clinical cases. whatever you are presenting in your colleges as SOP format, whatever you're presenting as charm format, you can present here as well. You are getting a chance to present at international level, at international platform. So submit your cases. If you have the good research studies on therapeutic, MTM therapeutic research studies like drug utilization or drug related errors and all, you can present here. And further that, if you have the journal research studies like epidemiological studies, PV, pharmacovigilance, PKPD, or basic science, and any review or you want to present, you can submit your research here. And all the medical, dental, pharmacy, and researchers and academicians and industry delegates are invited to submit their research and to attend this workshop. So this is the submission link here, ISMTM abstract at Bitly. So there you can submit your abstract, different kind of abstract forums you will get there. And in activities, there are the different activities as well, along with the oral and poster presentation. You can participate in MTM quizzes. You can participate in session quizzes. So every participant will get the certificate for presentation, and if you are winner, you will get the certificate for winning the prizes, and all the participants will get the participation certificate. And there are different exciting awards for different presentations and events. And you know why this conference is very very important, because we have the collaborators all over the world. First of all, from India we have three best organizations, three top pharmacy pharmacy and cardiac organizations. One is IPA, which is the best in India, and Indian Pharmaceutical Association. Then we have ACPI, Association of Community Pharmacists of India. Then we have WHF. Then we have lot of partnering institutes, more than 25. In that, I will tell you the big names, few names: Sultanul Ulum College of Pharmacy, Hyderabad; Pune College of Pharmacy, Bharati Vidyapeeth; then we have Sarda Vilas College of Pharmacy, Karnataka; then we have Pranveer Singh Institute of Technology, Kanpur; DY Patil Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences from Pune; we have College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, Dayanand Sagar University, Bangalore; Assam Downtown University; and KLE College of Pharmacy, St. Paul's College of Pharmacy, Hyderabad, and many more. Okay, so I am inviting
February
our
Hanamaya. Chips
yeah,
కూడా ఉన్నారు.
yes. So I'm inviting our CLPT also to come to our partnering institutes. Please give your consent. I will send you the emails. Please give your consent and become our participating institute to conduct this workshop. I will request Rao sir, definitely, and I'll be sending one email to him. And more partnering institutes are joining shortly, as we are targeting 50 partnering institutes. Almost more than 25 we have digital media partners and all. You can we have our specific website for ISMTM, that is ismtm.com. And everything is very particular on a professional level, so you can join us for this conference. This is on the MTM, medication therapy management, for first time in India. So you can join us for this on 19th and 20th December. You can register before 10th December, and you can submit your abstract before 10th December. So, okay, guys, so I will just stop here, and we will start with the session of Dr. Tarun Rase about, the guidance in the Australian career, and Australian pharmacy licensing exam. So, Dr. Tarun, please
Yes.
share your screen. Yeah. Yes, thank you. It is visible. Yes. Yes.
So shall we
Great.
begin?
Yeah, definitely. We can begin. We can start.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ajit. This is Dr. Tarun. I am the Deputy Director for Climate Careers. Uh, so now I think we have covered so various opportunities for pharmacy graduates in countries like US, Canada, and Dubai. Did we cover, Ajit?
Yes, we have covered, Dr. Tarun.
Yeah. So now we will see the prospects in Australia. Okay. So let's get into it without any further ado.
Yes.
So why migrate to Australia? So let's see why Australia. So many of us have maybe doubts. So whether to go for Canada, US, or Australia. So now I think some clarity might be there for some students, but still, those who are interested in Australia but still have some questions whether should I go for Australia or not. Let's see. See, the first point is it has a stable economy and it's growing every day. So yeah, it's at 2.5% every year on average. And the job opportunities are there in multiple sectors, not just in the medical sector also, but even in IT sector also it's growing. So the thing is here, if you see, there is a high minimum wage, right, and great savings opportunity. That means if you go for a fresher job or a part-time job, the minimum wage when you compare with Canada or USA, so Australia has a bit high minimum wage, and so it has in that way, if you can try to save more money, or if you're looking to save more money, then I think it is a better choice to go for Australia, right? So and then exceptional social benefits like free healthcare, just like Canada. Australia is also equally well equipped with healthcare, unlike USA. And then we have beautiful cities with vibrant multicultural life. So when I say beautiful cities, of course, Canada and the US also have beautiful cities. But whereas people who are more interested in outdoor activities, they mostly prefer to go to Australia because Australia is not that cold. In winters, it's not that cold when compared to Canada, and it's like more preferable for Indians. So yeah, that's one point I would like to stress here. So yeah, when you work in Australia, you will enjoy the basic rights and the same workplace protection rule as the other local employees, which means once you are employed in a company, apart from the government benefits, you will be given all the benefits from the company just as a local employee gets, right? So there will be no discrimination at all. So all of this makes Australia an attractive destination to make a career. So see, some of the colleges for pharmacy students, maybe you're a B Farm or a PharmD and you're looking to get into a master's program, and these are some of the colleges that we have picked, which are like in the top 10 or 20 universities in Australia. So these universities and colleges offer some programs that are related to the pharmacy graduates. So if you see University of New South Wales, they are offering courses like major in pharmacology, bachelor's in pharmacology, right? Even PhD and Master of Science in physiology and pharmacology research. So similarly, even the Griffith University, if you see little different courses here: Bachelor of Pharmacy, including Bachelor of Pharmacy, Master of Pharmacy, Master of Philosophy and Pharmacology, and at the same time they're also offering PhD. Right. So depending on which line you want to go, you have to select those particular colleges or universities, because not all colleges and universities offer the programs that you prefer or that you like. For example, if you see the University of Queensland, again they are offering masters in clinical pharmacy, pharmaceutical industry, bachelor's of pharmacy, and graduate certificate in pharmaceutical industry practice. So the various universities and colleges offer variety of programs, right? So it's up to the student to decide and spend some time and talk to us, take some counseling and then go for the colleges of particular universities. We will be there to help you until you get into that college. All right. So a little bit of masters in pharmacy. Why people go, or what are the benefits if we do a masters over there, and what kind of programs there in masters. So here the master's degree in pharmacy provides advanced study in the field of pharmacy practice. So if you're looking for community pharmacy, or if you're looking into getting to a licensed pharmacist or become a licensed pharmacist, or if you need some bridging program, like if a student is interested in becoming a PhD or doing a PhD, and if he's still just a B Farm graduate, so he may want to do a master's over there, just to bridge that gap between the bachelor's and the PhD. So yeah, so So it is being designed to provide a strong basis of advanced medicine topics of enhancing career prospects. All right. So following, these are some of the types of postgraduate pharmacy degrees offered in Australia. Like as we already discussed, Masters of Pharmacy, Masters of Pharmacy in Research, Diploma in Clinical Pharmacy, right? So all these are the various courses or opportunities for us to look into, no, to bridge the gap between the B Pharm and the PhD. So some of the common areas of specializations offered by most Australian universities, including the following emerging fields like diagnostic pathology, pharmacotherapy, pharmacy in research, pharmaceutical science, clinical research, radiopharmaceutical science, pharmaceutical medicine. So all these are various areas in masters. Okay, so there's a wide scope here. If you choose your path carefully, you can still make your life colorful. So why people go for Australia or developed countries like Australia, US, or Canada? Because ultimately it comes boils down to the wages or the salary, right? So here, if you can see on the right side, these are some of the companies are like mostly um if you know a pharmacist is earning in Australia at currently, right now in 2020. So these are 31, 35, 39. These are the amount per hour. So $31 per hour is the Australian dollars per hour is wage currently. If he is working in some of the companies like Chemist Warehouse, Priceline, and call My Chemist. So Australia is relatively affordable, and the scholarships provided to international students make it easier for them to fund their living and tuition costs. So some of the top companies for employing pharmacists are on the right. If you can have a look at this. Not just these companies, even MNCs like even Paraxol or any other clinical research companies also are in the same price range or the salary range. Okay, so if a student is interested in getting into maybe pharmacovigilance or maybe clinical SAS programmer, or if he is interested into just CRA or clinical research associate or any of these posts also, it has a good scope and promising future. So as I said, scholarships are there, but they are there in different universities by different names. You need to apply, look into the scholarships before you apply. So don't get confused. So because they have different names here, right? So if you can see PhD opportunity modulating cardiac, so sports excellence scholarships. So these are different names like accommodation service merit scholarships. You need to look into it before you apply for the particular university or the college. Will definitely help you in this as well. If you are eligible or not, you have to first check your eligibility before you apply for the scholarship. So finally, the visa process for international students. Many of the students are a bit worried because, or they might be a bit ignorant. Yeah, and it is not like USA definitely. So visa in Canada and Australia not that strict when it comes to offering visa for students, especially. So an international student must obtain an Australian visa to study or work in Australia for a period longer than 6 months. Okay. So you can complete the visa application with the payment of necessary fee that is around 413 Australian dollars. So the overall student visa acceptance rate is 90 to 95%, right? So for all the levels of study. So here, typically the students must submit the following for the visa. So don't worry. As of now, we are just it's just an overview. When you're really interested in coming to Australia, we will help you with all these things. So just a quick glance we'll have. So scanned copy of birth certificate, a copy of passport of biodata page, certificate of enrollment or offer letter offered by that particular college or university, just as in case of Canada. Okay. evidence of sufficient funds, okay, like your bank balance and etc. Evidence of health insurance cover, English proficiency test results like IELTS, criminal record checks, four recent passport sized photographs, and an Australian student visa application form. Right. So these are the things that you need to have before you apply for the visa.
ఇది ఇప్పుడు ఎప్పుడు యూట్యూబ్ లో ఉంటుందిగా అవైలబుల్?
Right. So moving on. So this is the slide which shows pharmacist average salary in Australia. Don't get confused. This is for the registered pharmacist. Okay. Till now we have just covered about the masters or further education and then the visa process. Now, if a student is interested in writing the licensing exams in Australia and getting the license and work as a registered pharmacist, and if he is successful, then what is his salary going to be? So if he is just starting working as a registered pharmacist, he'll be straight away eligible to earn around 70,000 Australian dollars per annum, right? This is per annum. And as his experience increases, you can see his growth as well in his career. All he has to do is get his license done. Once you get the license, of course it is not that easy, but you will need a bit of a commitment and a bit of dedication as well. Once you clear all these licensing exams and the internship here, you can work as a pharmacist in Australia, and you don't have to worry for for job security or etc, because jobs will come to you, because there is a demand especially for professions that need or require a licensure. It may be medicine, or it may be pharmacy, or it may be any other field which requires a license to practice. So as you can see, as experience increases, the salary also increases. After 20 years, you're like almost 1,70,000 Australian dollars per year. All right. So eligibility, besides holding a, this is the eligibility required to in order to write the exam, right? Besides holding a pharmacy qualification, you must also be either registered as a pharmacist in the country where you graduated, right? Or eligible to register as a pharmacy in that country, or eligible to start the registration process in that country. So ultimately, he's saying that you have to be a graduate. Okay. So in order to be eligible to write for the or to sit for the CAPS exam, that is the first step in getting the license. So the first exam is the CAPS exam. So in order to be eligible for that, you have to be a registered pharmacist, or at least, or you have to be in a position to be a registered pharmacist. All right, that means you have to be a graduate with all the degree certificates in your hand. This is just a simple overview, because to just get you a brief idea. So what it mean, the overall picture to get the final license in your hand, from first step like application for the initial consideration to getting the final registration. So initially we have to apply for the eligibility check, right? Once you are eligible, then you will apply for the CAPS exam, and then you will actually sit for the CAPS exam. Okay, once you write the CAPS exam, then you will get the results. The results will be in the form of a letter that is called as skill assessment letter. So in that skill assessment letter, you will know whether you have cleared the exam or not. So this we will talk about it a bit briefly in the coming slides. So once you get the skill assessment letter, then you have to, that means if you are successful, then you have to enroll in the internship program, right? So this internship or training program will be for particular hours in depending on the province that you select. So after you complete this complete training program, you have to again kind of conclude it with the approved supervised practice, right? Once step 4 and step 5 are done, then you will be eligible to write the actual exam, that is written and oral examination. This is the actual examination. So this CAPS exam is in the step 2 is only for those uh, for those who are foreign to Australia, right? So, for example, if I want to write the or get the Australian license, I have to go through this CAPS exam. But for a student who is already born and raised in Australia or is an Australian citizen, he will directly be writing this internship, doing the internship and writing the oral and written test. So ultimately, you have to come to this step 6, and once you are clear with the step 6 successfully, you'll be getting your license in your hands. It's just a mere formality, and then you can get your license in your hands. So if you want more details about this, you can contact us or write to us, email us. We'll be giving you one-on-one counseling, until you feel comfortable, whether you want to go to Australia or if it's Australia is right for you or not. So all these doubts will clear. It's on one-on-one basis. Okay. So coming to English language, right? This is an important question, important thing here to know. This can be done by submitting either a recent IELTS or OET tests. Okay, either either of these results is okay with Australia. Okay, so what is the difference? Okay, if you're writing for IELTS, you need to get a minimum of 7 in each of the 4 bands, right? For example, listening, reading, writing, and speaking, you have to get a minimum of 7. If you get 6.5 in listening, that means you're not eligible. Okay, so you have to get 7, and overall you have to get 7.5 if you are going for the academic. And the most important point here is the results must be achieved at one sitting only. So if you're writing IELTS today, so all the 4 modules or the 4 bands will be should be given at once. So you should get this score in one IELTS exam. It's not like you will get 7 in this exam and the next attempt you will get in reading I will get 7. No, no, not like that. But for whereas OET, the results do not need to be achieved at one sitting. So that is a main advantage for OET. So yeah, and an A or B score in each of the 4 bands like listening, reading, writing, and speaking is required. So OET is nothing but occupational English test, which is considered in few countries like Australia and some of the European countries, right? So it is recognized only by a few countries, whereas IELTS is recognized worldwide in many countries. Okay. So yeah, now we will look a bit deeply about the CAPS exam, that is knowledge assessment of pharmaceutical sciences. So here there is no set time limit to pass the CAPS exam, but the Pharmacy Council has an expectation that you will sit the exam within the realistic time frame, that is 2 years from the time of your application. Okay, so the Pharmacy Council will provide additional information about the CAPS exam when the requirements of step 1 has been met, that is eligibility criteria. So overall cost of the examination per attempt is $2,000. So that is $2,110 per attempt. Okay, it's not like if you are you have failed this attempt so that I can give another attempt with the same fee. No, for each attempt you have to pay again the full amount, that is $2,110 Australian dollars. So this is a computer-based exam in which the format is MCQ format. All the questions will be in multiple choice format, right? It is designed to test a candidate's knowledge of basic pharmaceutical sciences related to the present day pharmacy practice. So all the basics of your whole B Farm or PharmD, right? So it will include all the pharmacology as well as the pharmaceutical aspects as well. So the exam consists of two papers, each consisting of 100 questions, covering both the theory and practical aspects as well. Ultimately, you have to be prepared to face 200 questions on the same day, right? So 100 questions per paper, and both the papers are held on the same day, and each paper is uh, or has a 2 hours time limit. Okay, so that means 4 hours you need to be prepared to sit for the exam. And the thing is, maximum of 2 attempts are given by this uh, Australian Pharmacy Council. But the advantage is, if you pass in one paper, the next attempt you can continue with the second paper, so you don't have to give again both the papers, right? If you if you clear one paper, you can give the paper that you have failed in the next attempt. Okay, so the APC will process all exam applications and will advise the candidates of all administrative details for the exam, such as the time, date, and venue. So the pass mark, as I said, the overall pass mark for the CAPS exam is 50%. Okay, so the 50 percentage is, pay attention here, 50% in each paper. Okay, okay, 50% in paper one and 50% in paper two. Okay, you if you get 70% in one paper, and if you got only 49%, that that means you have failed the paper one. Okay, you have to give that paper again. So in addition, the candidates must pass each of the subsections in paper one and paper two. So the number of attempts and validity, the candidates are allowed 2 attempts, as I previously mentioned. So the number of attempts is 2 attempts to pass the CAPS exam. A subsequent attempt, that is a third attempt, may be allowed at the discretion of the registrar. That means if you have any special reason, then the registrar, you may have to write a reason, write an email to the registrar, and if he considers, then you may be eligible to sit for the third attempt. Okay, so both the papers must be passed within a 2-year period. Okay, and the CAPS result remains valid for 2 years again. So again, an important point here, the results of the CAPS exam is valid only for 2 years. So this may only be extended again, this can be extended at the discretion of the registrar. So once you get the results, you have to move on to the next step, that is applying for the internship and training program. So in order to apply for that, you need to have this CAPS results. Okay, so these CAPS results are valid for 2 years. If you don't get into internship or training program within the 2 years of passing the CAPS exam, so the validity expires. So that is what he means here. Okay, so the results will be notified approximately 4 weeks after the date of the exam. Okay, so yeah. So just a quick overview of the CAPS exam. Just start with
Eligible
check
profession
your eligibility.
terminology కూడా.
So you start with your eligibility. Once you're eligible, gather your documents, then apply for an eligibility check to sit for the CAPS exam. That means your documents will be evaluated, all your degree certificates, your transcripts will be evaluated, and if everything is clear, including your IELTS or OET results, once everything is clear, then you will get a notification that you are eligible, and you can write and apply and write for the CAPS exam. Sit the online exam at exam center. You can give the CAPS exam even from India. Okay, and then finally, once you're done, you will wait for at least 3 to 4 weeks to get your results. Those results will be in the form of a letter that is called as skills assessment letter. Okay, so I think we are coming to the concluding slides here. So as CleMed Careers, what we are offering or how we can help you in reaching your goal, right? So we will be guiding you to achieve your goal, full guidance and support in getting admission in college and course of your choice, or if you're going for the exams, will be definitely there for you, evaluating your eligibility for the exams from the scratch till you get your results, document evaluation, preparing you for the licensing exams, and finally this, if you're interested in licensing, keep in mind that this course is that we are going to offer is exam oriented. Okay, so the exam oriented coaching will be given to you so that you can get that advantage or edge to clear the exams. So that's it, folks. Thank you so much for being patient and listening to the to my slides. Uh, and I will be taking off. If you have any doubts, I think you can ask me. I'll be here. Dr. Ajit.
Yes, Dr. Tarun. So anyone, if have any question, please ask to Dr. Tarun about Australia. Please type in the chat box or raise your hand, guys. Okay, so I will ask a few questions from YouTube, Dr. Tarun.
Yeah, sure.
So somebody is asking, is there any chances for DPharm students in Australia?
What kind of exactly are you looking for?
No,
So
after
after
DPharm,
BPharm,
after
definitely,
after DPharm, 2 years course.
diploma, not much of a scope. But if you are a BPharm, then definitely you can go for either further studies, or you can get some work experience here and then apply for jobs in Australia. So at least BPharm, I think, is highly recommended,
Minimum.
or so
Yeah,
that
minimum. Okay, so is CAPS necessary for industrial job? Somebody is asking.
definitely no. Definitely no.
Yeah.
CAPS is only for the if you're interested in becoming a community pharmacist or a clinical pharmacist. Okay, so you need that license to practice your pharmacist skills. If you are going to industry, then then no need of getting the license. Your other skills like computer skills or research skills will be evaluated there in the company, right, in the industry.
Yes. So what is the license validity? Can you please tell again?
uh See, the license, once you get the overall license, that is, so okay, let me clear here. So once you get the license, then that license is valid for life. Maybe you have to extend it like every 2 years or every 5 years. You have to renew it. But once you get that license, that means you have cleared all the exams. Then again, you don't have to sit for the exams, right? It is valid for like
Yeah.
goes on for life. But
Yes.
for the first step, that is the first exam, that is CAPS exam,
Mm,
that has a validity of 2 years. So
true.
there's a bit of a difference here, a bit of a confusion. So each step has a bit of validity. So you have to keep on moving. Once you've started your process, you have to keep moving. Otherwise, each step gets expired. Like first, if you write the exam and you're passed, within the next 2 years, you have to join some internship or training.
Yes. Okay, Kavita is raising hand. Kavita, your question, please ask.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Yes, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Okay. So I finished my PhD program in pharmaceutical sciences from Jamia Hamdard by this year only. So I want to go for
Okay.
doing my postdoc program in Australia or maybe some other country I'm trying for. Is it necessary to go for IELTS?
Yes. Even
Yes.
if you are thinking for postdoc, I think you have to go for IELTS. Yes.
Okay, so like all universities need this.
Yes.
Not all, actually. It depends.
It
Dr. Tarun,
depends.
yes, please go ahead.
No. It depends on the score. Maybe a few universities might have lowered their bar. So as I said, minimum of 7 is actually accepted in almost all the universities.
Sir, I
So
applied at Portsmouth University at UK once. There, they didn't desire this IELTS.
okay, so I think as you said,
Um,
maybe few universities may consider that already you have done your PhD,
hmm.
may consider okay without IELTS also they accept, but it's not general. In general, you have to have your IELTS. So specifically, depending on case to case, they may give you some relief.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. How many years of experience required? I think it's no need, right? No need of experience, Dr. Tarun,
For what?
for licensing exam in
No need,
Australia.
not no need. As I clearly talked about the eligibility. Once you're
Hmm.
done with your graduate and you have your degree certificate in your hand, so you are eligible to
Hmm.
write the sit for the CAPS exam.
Yes. Great. Great. Great.
Anyway,
Yeah.
because you will be doing the internship there, right? So that matters.
Yes. Yes. So Aparna is asking, what will be the duration of internship during registration process?
That depends on the province, from province to province, just like in US and Canada. So it might be around 6 months to 1 year, depending on from province to province.
Yes. True. Okay. So do we have any other question, guys, for Dr. Tarun? Type in the chat box. Nadendra Bala Saraswati was asking about the.
I'm not.
So I just.
I think your voice is breaking, Dr. Ajit.
Oh, I think my internet connection was not stable. Okay. Now, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. So New Zealand, we are going to talk, Faisal, right now. In the next session, we are just going to talk about the New Zealand only. Okay. So after getting license, how can we apply for job? Can we apply from India or we need to go there for the job search?
So if let's say if you're getting the license, that means you're already in Australia, right? You're doing the internship. So in order to
Yeah,
do
true.
the internship, you're already in Australia.
True.
So the CAPS exam you can write from India. After the CAPS, you need to travel to Australia.
Yes, true. Okay.
After B Farm, what
And
will be the
then
scope in Australia? Hello.
Yes, yes.
So after B Farm, what will be the scope in Australia?
Mostly, if you have a work experience, maybe you can apply for jobs depending on which field you are. Otherwise, you can go for higher studies. Okay, like doing masters or PhD. And then
What will be the fees criteria for the master's studies in the Australia?
masters BPharm is eligible.
BPharm is eligible for masters, definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm asking fees criteria for the master
The
studies.
fees, Dr. Tarun, he is asking about the fee.
Yes, the fees depends again from university to university. You can call us or email. I think Dr. Ajit, we will
Yes, yes.
look into it. Yeah,
Yeah,
depending on the
see,
university.
actually, it varies, actually varies season to season. Every exam they, differ the fees, and due to based on the taxes, I think, sorry, your voice. Okay. So it depends on the, when you are applying, but most probably it comes around 4,000 Australian dollar, 3,500 to 4,000 Australian dollar for complete PEBC exam. Till you join the internship.
No,
I
no, no.
mean,
He's
just for the
asking about the masters. So I think
master's
three
course, it
thousand.
depends. It depends on the university. It depends on the university. It could be, from 20,000 Australian dollar to 50,000 Australian dollar for 2 years.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
It depends. As if you are going for South Coast or West Coast University, if you are going for Griffith University, it depends. Griffith University, you need to pay around around 20 to 25,000 for a master's course. And but in Australia, you have a good chances to get the scholarships. You will get the good scholarships in Australia. I really feel personally that Australia is the country where you can get the maximum scholarships. They provide the scholarships for MPH students, for medical students, for pharmacy students, everywhere. and they are the best in international exchanges programs as well.
Sir, when we complete the B form, then after getting degree, so how will the process of the getting the admissions in the Australia in Masters of Pharmacy?
You can directly apply to any Australian university from India as well. You just have to clear the IELTS if they are asking, or OCT if they are asking. Otherwise, OCE. Otherwise, they will. They always, for fall or for autumn in July and in January they call for the admissions. You can apply from India as well, and they will interview you, or they will verify your documents. They will look into your mark sheets, and then they will call you for the admission. So it's very simple process in Australia. You just need a little guidance for that. That's all.
So which university will be best for the Masters of Pharmacy in Australia?
See, Master of Pharmacy, there are few universities. As I will suggest you, University of Canberra is good, and University of the Griffith University is good, and I will tell you a few universities.
Queensland
You
as
can,
well. Queensland,
huh?
Sydney. Queensland, Sydney. You can see the slide.
Yes,
Depending on which
here you can
course,
see Queensland is there, Sydney is there. Yeah, University of Sydney is there, University of South Wales is there. Yeah,
these are
University of
the
South Australia is there. Yes,
yes. Depending on which area you are interested, you can go for that.
you can
They
go
are
for.
holding their entrance exams also.
No entrance exams for the masters.
So to means when we will get the degree of Bachelor of Pharmacy from India, so directly we can get admission in their Australia.
Yes, directly you can get the admissions in Australian universities. You just have to undergo one interview, and they will verify your all the documents.
Oh, there is not entrance exam at all.
No entrance exams at all. I mean, many major universities, they don't have entrance exam as per our knowledge.
So on interview basis, they are getting admissions only.
Yes, interview and your certificates, which
Your
degree you have,
certificates,
and
your marks card, your transcripts, everything will be evaluated, and mainly your English, that is IELTS or OET, will
yes,
be considered.
OET will be considered. Yes, IELTS or OET.
So this IELTS exam should be taken from Indian itself only. Means from India only we can.
From
You can
anywhere
take
you can
anywhere,
take IELTS. For Australia, anywhere you can take IELTS.
Oh, sir.
but you need to go for
Yes,
the academic IELTS. There are two things in
there are
IELTS.
two.
One is
Yeah.
general training and one is academic. So you need to go for the academic.
So after B Pharmacy, we should qualify the IELTS for Master of Pharmacy.
Yes. You need to, because universities, they will look into IELTS. Otherwise, it is really tough to get the admission.
Oh. So
Yes.
from
True.
from India we can give the admission exam of IELTS.
Yes, yeah, you can write. The
Yes.
centers
You
are
can give from
available.
India. You can give from India.
So is the center of giving the exam in oil or there means online examination mode?
There are the centers, but you can give online also. Now, in this COVID situation, they have made it online also. But there are centers as well in every city, almost every big city. They have the centers for IELTS. Like if you are from Lucknow, there are the centers for IELTS. There are the centers in Delhi, Gurgaon, and nearby, Kolkata, Ahmedabad. There are the centers
So
in
this
North
IELTS
India as
exam
well.
only we can only give after bachelor completion only.
No, you can give any
Yes.
time IELTS, but it depends on that, and it depends that how much validity it is. It is actually valid for 2 years, so there is no, there is no a sense of giving IELTS in your second year or first year, right?
No, sir,
Yeah,
I am pursuing fourth year.
you can contact us. I think Dr. Ajit, you can contact
Yeah, you
us.
can contact Dr. Tarun. You can write to us. We will get back to you, Sarthak. Okay?
We will call you personally if you give your phone number. We can discuss because
how will
yeah,
get contact with you?
you have
We will show you in the last slide, Dr. Tarun. If we have.
yeah. I'll go to the last slide.
Okay, sir.
Yes. You can note down our contact numbers. No problem. Yeah, here.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so anyone else have any question for Dr. Tarun? Sajid Sheikh has one question. I don't know how much relevant it is. After cracking CAPS exam from India, can we go Australia to search for internship?
Yes, after CAPS exam, you have to go for the internship within 2 years.
Yes. Is
After
there any
you
option to
complete,
do PhD after?
yeah.
Yes. Just carry on, Dr. Tarun.
Yeah. Within 2 years, you have to search the internship, and then once you successfully complete the internship and training program, supervised training program, then you will be eligible to write the main exam, that is theory and practical, oral. Sorry.
True.
Yeah, you are saying something?
Yeah. I'm talking about one more question. Is there any option to do PhD after completion of PharmD?
Yeah, definitely. I think PhD after PharmD, you can do for go for PhD.
Yes, you can
No
go for
need, no
PhD.
need. Yes, I think you have to show your skills, your research, your whatever you have done. Maybe you have done written some articles. So all that they will consider, and your work will be considered, and then they will some universities will can offer you PhD.
Okay, so now I will invite Mr. Avnees, and Dr. Tarun will be helping him to talk about the New Zealand licensing exams and career opportunities in New Zealand. Mr. Avnees,
Yes, Dr. Jeet, good afternoon.
good afternoon, Mr. Avnees. How are you? How's going?
Yeah,
So-
fine. What about you?
Yes, we are good.
Okay.
So, guys, if you have any queries about the about any country, we will be having the panel discussion immediate after New Zealand session. We'll be having panel discussion. So, guys, be with us and ask your queries to all of us. We all will be here. Dr. Tarun, Dr. Karthik, me, and Mr. Avnees. We will be here, and you can ask your queries to us in the panel discussion.
Excuse
Any
me, sir.
queries you have? Hi.
Sir, I am Vishnu Vardhan.
Hi, Vishnuvardhan.
I am studying, I am pursuing final year B Pharmacy.
Okay.
Sir, can you please tell me my masters in New Zealand?
Yes, go just wait for 2 minutes. Mr. Avnees is going to tell about the New Zealand only. Okay, you please you can just listen to Mr. Avnees. He's talking about New Zealand only. And if you have
Okay, sir.
queries after this, if you have any queries after this, then we will clarify.
Okay, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, guys. Let's start about the gateway to New Zealand for pharmacy students and professionals. Am I audible, Dr. Jeet?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So let's start from the very basic about why migrate to New Zealand. So before applying to New Zealand as a pharmacist, we should know why we have to go there. So here are some reasons why New Zealand should be considered as a perfect destination for all of us, as the institute is recognized and highly regarded by employers worldwide. So the institutes are well known and recognized, and if you enjoy the great outdoors, then New Zealand could be your ideal destinations as well. And the third point is it is ahead of the curve in so many ways, no matter whether it is in politics or health or in education or in the environment, it leads all the way. And as uh, so I personally feel if you look for New Zealand, then it will definitely a perfect place to start your career and settle down there. So for the moving, here are the some top colleges for pharmacy students in New Zealand. You can see the University of Auckland is provided course on pharmacy, Bachelor of Pharmacy, also providing PG diploma in clinical pharmacy and PG certificate in clinical pharmacy as well. And these are the some top universities in New Zealand which are provided pharmacy courses to the students in New Zealand. And University of Otago is provided B Pharm, also MSc in pharmacology, providing Doctor of Philosophy in Pharmacy and PG certificate in pharmacy as well. And the third one is New Zealand Management Academies. It provides the certificate pharmacy, which is under level 5. So these are the some top colleges and some courses which are they provided. So now further moving on to the scholarships, let's talk about a little bit on scholarship for international students, which help you a lot for manage of finance and or spending on in New Zealand. So you can choose these following scholarships as New Zealand government provide you the development scholarships and New Zealand Asian Scholar Awards and New Zealand Excellence Awards. Some of the New Zealand university scholarships are also provided, like UC International First Year Scholarships, University of Ottawa, as I mentioned before, an international research post PG scholarships, and here is the main thing. The best thing in New Zealand is that you are allowed to work part time for 20 hours per week on a student visa. On a student visa, you can work 20 hours per week, so that you can manage your finance and bit of saving as well. And during your vacations, you can do full time work on the student visa as well. Okay. So now we talk about a little bit on visa process to apply in New Zealand. As you all know, it's a long process, but but here we have time constraints. So we just know what are all the documents needed while we are applying for visa from India. So these are the documents for New Zealand visa. Like you should have your original passport with at least 6 months validity and minimum 3 blank pages plus all old passports if you have any. And you should also have visa application form to resend color photographs with photo specification, what they are demand for, and personal covering letter and original updated bank statement with sufficient bank balance. You should have to be carry some manage your bank balance as well, and ITR form 16 for last 3 years. These are the some documents. You should also have to supporting a financial document such as fixed deposit or other investments, and you also have to show them the balance of fund of at least New Zealand or 1,000 New Zealand dollar per month for maintenance and accommodation. Okay, so now let's talk on the pharmacy licensing exam in New Zealand. As in Canada, PVC exam, and in Australia there is a CAPS exam. So here is also the CAPS exam for New Zealand as well. So before further talk about the CAPS exam, we should know what are the pay scales after getting the license done or after getting the licensing. So these are the pay scales for the pharmacist in New Zealand. So pharmacy interns usually earn $45,000 per annum, usually completing their registration year. It means they have 0 to 1 year experience. So they usually earn 45,000 New Zealand dollar per year. A pharmacist with 1 to 5 year experience can earn in between $50,000 New Zealand dollar to $75,000. Okay, and as the charge pharmacist, who manage a pharmacy, they will earn about between 75,000 New Zealand dollar to 1,05,000. Okay, so what are the job opportunities after getting license done from in New Zealand? And so what are the job opportunities for the students in New Zealand? So these are the chances to getting a job high because of the an aging population, which means an increased demand for healthcare of all types, and increasing in long-term conditions such as diabetes that put demand on services, and also demand to take some primary care from doctors, such as treating minor ailments, immunizations, prescription medicines, and health checks as well. And you can work in community pharmacies like in public hospitals, or if you are in good in academics, or you are done PhD in some of the university, then you can also join universities and polytechnics as well. And if you are interested in corporate job, then you can go for a pharmaceutical industry. So there are some progression and specializations in New Zealand, as pharmacists may progress to own a pharmacy or move into other pharmacy related works, like they can go for research and development or production in marketing in pharmaceutical industry. They may policy work with the Ministry of Health and Pharmacy, and they will also do advocacy and management within pharmacy professional organization. They can choose teaching option and also medical publishing. So what are the roles and responsibilities? What are the roles and responsibilities you will have to do as a pharmacist? So as a pharmacist, there are some specific work you should have to be done there. Then like you have to be prepare, mix, check and dispense medicines, keep accurate records and stock take medicines, provide information and advice on medicines, health issues and lifestyle choices, supervise and check the work of other pharmacy staff. You have to be good in this. And after offer services such as BP, glucose or cholesterol testing, design and implement policies, procedure and budget for medicine used throughout a hospital, and design to carry out clinical trial as well. Okay, so as we talk about the role and responsibility, now we further move. What are the eligibility criteria to write PVC to write CAPS exam for New Zealand in New Zealand as a pharmacist? So you have to be very pay attention here, that you should be a registered pharmacist. First, you should be a registered pharmacist to applying before New Zealand. Okay, and you should also have a university degree in pharmacy, maybe whether it is B Pharm or M Pharm or PharmD. And also you should also have one extra thing is that you should also have hospital. There is a 12 months experience. It means 1 year of experience within the last 5 years, or in registered pharmacy in a clinical setting. Okay, so there is some extra thing you need to do. You need to do before applying the process in New Zealand, that you should have 12 months of experience need. And what are the English language test? This is the you should have IELTS exam. You should have to clear IELTS exam with minimum score of 7 in each of the 4 bands. And after this, in each of the 4 bands, like listening, reading, writing and speaking, and or you can choose OET. Likewise in for Australia, this is the same for in New Zealand as well. So these are the overview of pharmacy registration process in New Zealand. So we will discussing the step that need to be followed if you are willing to working as a pharmacist in New Zealand. Okay, so these are the 5 steps. The step 1 is application for initial consideration, in which you have to submit all the documents to Pharmacy Council of New Zealand. All the documents you have to submit the Pharmacy Council of New Zealand. And remember that when you are applying for this, you will have given only 3 months to provide all the documents required to complete the step 1. Okay, and the documents which are directly sent from the specified authority, like your college degree should be sent by your college, licensing registration should be sent by your in which state you are working, and statement of good standing, confirmation of 12 months work experience sent by the employer. Okay, you should have at least 12 months of work experience before. This is the thing in which you have to be clear. Then your application and supporting documents will be assessed and authenticated by Pharmacy Council of New Zealand. Then once your application is completed, including your English test, then you will be notified to process to step 1, that is CAPS. After completing this CAPS exam, once you clear the CAPS exam, you will move further to complete the law and ethics course, which which will be completed in New Zealand. Once you clear this exam, it means step 2, then you have 2 years given to complete this step 3. Like you have to complete the pharmacy legislation course in New Zealand. You have to enroll in the law and ethics course, which is run twice a year. It will happen twice a year, every year, in the month of Feb and August. So it is around 10-week course, law and ethics course. It is around 10-week course. After clearing this exam, you will go to intern registration and supervised practice, which is step 4. Okay. Then this program commences on every 1st of Feb each year. Every year this program commences, and it will run minimum around period of 37 weeks. So then you have to clear after this 37 week of completing this program, you have to clear the OSCE. It means objective structure clinical examination, to check your ability. They will check your ability to apply your pharmacy knowledge. Okay, when all these stuff have been completed, you will be eligible to apply for registration as a pharmacist in New Zealand. That is step 5. So we can see this is the knowledge assessment of pharmaceutical science CAPS exam. The time limit, there is no set of time limit for CAPS exam, to writing the CAPS exam, but usually they will expect you to within 2 years it should be done after submitting your documents. And this is a computer based multiple choice format, and it is designed to test a candidate knowledge of basic pharmaceutical sciences. Okay, and it consists of 2 paper on a same day with 100 question each in paper 1 and 2, and each paper is 2 hours duration. Here is the thing, the PCNZ, that means Pharmacy Council of New Zealand, contract the Australian Pharmacy Council to administer the CAPS exam on its behalf. That's why the process of in Australia and New Zealand for CAPS exam is same, because the Australian Pharmacy Council on behalf of Pharmacy Council of New Zealand will take care this CAPS exam. So the overall passing marks for CAPS exam is 50%, as Dr. Tarun has told you previously in Australia slides. In both of the paper you need to pass with 50% marks. Okay, and the candidates are allowed only 2 attempts to pass this CAPS exam, and after clearing this exam you have 2 year of period to move further step. Okay, so the CAPS result will remain valid for 2 years. This may only be extended on the discrimination of the registrar. It may be in exceptional case. So as you see, you just need to submit your documents, then wait for email. Wait for the email. You will get the login credentials as well. After this, and then you will have to register via the exam portal, candidate exam via portal, and then you will prepare for exam using your exam resource. We will help you to get this exam clear, and then you have to sit in the online exam in India as well. You can give this CAPS exam from India, but after this clearing this exam, and you have to go to New Zealand for further steps, and then you have to receive your results, and then you can apply for Pharmacy Council of New Zealand for registration. Okay, so these are some questions, these are some frequently asked questions which came into your mind. So here are some answers as well to make you understand well and clear. So like someone is asking, I have a 2-year diploma in pharmacy and have done 6-month internship. Can I apply for registration? So the answer is no, because they need 4-year degree program, whether it is B.Pharm, PharmD, or M.Pharm. So you have to be clear this. And after this, another question is, I have my registration certificate and academic record with me. Will it be acceptable if I send these to you? No, confirmation of your registration and good standing must be sent directly to the pharmacy council by your registration authority. It means the registration authority will directly send this to the Pharmacy Council of New Zealand. Okay, and the confirmation of completion of your pharmacy degree and a copy of your academic record that we generally known as degree transcript must also be directly sent to the Pharmacy Council by your university. So the next question is, if I have passed the TOEFL exam, will you be accept this in place of IELTS? So the answer is the Pharmacy Council does not recognize the TOEFL. As in USA, the TOEFL is need, but in like in Canada or in Australia or in New Zealand, you should have to be clear IELTS or OET. So it's up to you whether you have to choose either of one. So the next question is, what work experience must I have to be considered for registration? You should have recent clinical, it means community pharmacy work experience, have work experience at least 12 months, that is 1 year. At least 1 year of experience you should need to register as a to writing this CAPS exam in New Zealand. But in Australia, you don't need any experience. You should just only have your professional degree. The next question is, after completing step 1, is there a time limit in which I have to pass this CAPS exam? No, there is no set of time limit to pass this CAPS exam, but the Pharmacy Council has an acceptation that you should be clear this in a two year of period. Okay. So the next question is, if I failed CAPS on my first attempt, how many times can I sit in the CAPS exam? So you are allowed 2 attempts to pass this CAPS exam. Both paper must be passed within a 2 year of period. You should have only just given, you can give on the entire life of period only 2 times. And it should be clear within a 2 year of period. The next question is, how long will you take to process my New Zealand visa application? It depends. The fulfillment of the requirement of the New Zealand immigration depend upon your application, depend upon your processing time, depend upon how the busy New Zealand embassy is. Okay, so these are the some questions, and how is the how we are going to help you. We will guiding you to achieve your goal. We will full guidance you to support in getting admission in college and courses of your choice, in which institute or in which college or university you want to go, and we will help you to achieve the scholarship as well. So we will guide you, and we will evaluating your eligibility for exams as well, and we will evaluate your document. We will definitely preparing you for licensing exam, and the classes will be exam oriented, and the training will be specific for all of the exams. So these are the contact details. Whether you can mail us or call us on the given number. So if you have any question, you can clear this. You can clear now. Yes, Dr. Ajit.
Guys, so do you have any question related to New Zealand? You can ask Mr. Avnis, and Dr. Tarun is also here with us. And now Dr. Karthik is here. I am here. So if you have any doubts related to any country, related to USA or Canada, Australia or Dubai, any whatever we have discussed since morning, if you have any doubts, if you have any problems, please discuss with us. Please, we are here to resolve your queries, guys. So let me take few questions from YouTube. How many attempts for IELTS, Dr. Tarun? Can you please clarify?
Number of attempts. No, there is no limit.
There is no limit, right?
Yeah, there is no limit. You can give as long as you can.
Clarify. As long as you clear that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the scope of PharmD in Canada, Dr. Karthik? Okay, Dr. Tarun. I think Dr. Karthik is connected, but
Yeah, so what was the question?
question is that what are the chances? Wait,
What is the scope after PharmD?
what is the scope after PharmD in Canada?
Yeah, the scope is you can go for either licensing, go for PEBC and become a registered pharmacist, or you can go for higher studies, do
Yeah.
a master's or go for a PhD directly
Yeah.
if you're interested in that line. Or if you are particularly interested in research, that is clinical research field, you have plenty of options like pharmacovigilance, clinical data management, clinical SAS programming, right? So all these
Right.
are some of the examples. It's
Right.
up to the student or the candidate.
Right, guys. So I put the feedback form
Hello.
in the Zoom
Hello,
link.
Dr. Ajit.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Hello.
This is Srinathala.
Hi, sir.
Yeah. One thing, Dr. Tarun said there is many attempts they can give in IELTS.
Yeah.
But I think they have to maintain certain duration between the two exams, I think.
The
So how much
duration is,
duration?
yeah, the duration is, it depends, I think maybe 1 week or 3 days, it depends from the time of your application.
Okay.
So I think maybe once you apply, you will get a date maybe within next 1 week or 10 days. So in that way, yeah, there is a gap, but not, there's no limit of number of attempts.
That's okay. But
So the slots,
I hear that there should be
yeah.
certain gap between the two exams. So that is the reason.
So that gap.
Maybe because once you have to wait till your results. Maybe that is the only gap required. So if you
Okay.
write your IELTS now, you will have some time to get your results, right? So that results
Yes.
itself will take another 1 week or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So once you get that
Thank you.
results, because if a student is interested in going to Canada or US and he's in a hurry, so I don't think IELTS people will restrict that person to wait for a few more days.
No, they usually, Dr. Tarun, they usually take 2 months in one exam. Every 2 months they conduct this IELTS exam. So there is the gap. As I can see here at IELTS site, there is a gap of 2 months. Sir is right. I think he's right. So there is a gap of 2 months. Students have to wait for 2 months after first exam. If they want to reattempt it, they have to wait for 2 months.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I put that review form, feedback form in chat box of both Zoom and YouTube. You guys can fill that chat box. Okay. So next question here is, what are the chances to qualify the CAPS exam?
Chances are quite high because they just only need 50% marks. So you just have to be clear this.
It is basic knowledge of your PharmD or BPharm. So all the pharmacology based stuff, but you need some preparation. You should know where to focus, where not to focus. So that's where we come in. So yeah, it's standard paper. You need a bit of preparation, definitely.
Yes. So Saurabh is raising his hand. Saurabh, please ask your question.
That in this chat box that shows that you have already figured what is this? You have already responded. This is written here.
Okay, so you do not have any question now?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So I'll take few more questions from
All
chat
doubts
box.
are clear.
Okay. So
Sir, my all doubts are clear.
Okay, so Vivek is asking this question many times that what are the scopes for D-Pharm students in these countries? So guys, for D-Pharm directly, I will say in Australia, Canada and USA, the scopes are very less, almost nil for PharmD students, almost nil for D-Pharm students, the 2 years diploma students.
Yeah, diploma there is no chance, but for BPharm definitely no chance in US.
For BPharm, I mean for licensing exams, no chance in US. Yeah.
Yes.
But BPharm has the different scenarios. If you want to go for higher studies or something, you can go. But I think basis on DPharm, diploma in pharmacy, you cannot even go for the higher studies in US. You have to start from the scratch again. From the bachelor degree again. But we have the great opportunities for diploma in pharmacy in UAE, all the countries of UAE, all the Emirates of UAE, and our Gulf countries. You can go there. You can get the license as well for pharmacy technician. You can go for higher studies. You have all the choices. Whatever you are getting in India after DPharm, you will get in UAE. So DPharm students can contact us for chances in UAE, but definitely not in Canada, Australia, and USA. If I move to Canada and done MS or diploma after PharmD, but I haven't cleared the license exam, what are the job opportunities? Dr. Karthik, if he's joined.
Sorry, if he has not cleared the license.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Karthik,
So
please.
if I move to Canada and done MS and diploma after PharmD, but I haven't cleared the license exam.
Okay.
So what are the
Yes,
chances?
Dr. Karthik, see, on which field did he do the MS or masters? So that becomes crucial. Right. So if he has done a master's in health system management or any other program, so that on that field he can get that job. Right, Dr. Karthik, you can add a few more points if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
Yes,
true. As you said, so which course are you doing in MS? Which course did you select? So that is very important.
Yeah.
So
True,
based
true,
on
true.
that, you can, yeah.
Yes, definitely. So any other questions, guys? If you have, you can ask our experts who are connected just for this workshop with us. And yeah, guys, if you have any other questions, please ask them.
So after BPharm, jobs in Australia?
Yes, Dr. Tarun.
Yes. After BPharm?
Yeah.
See, after BPharm, it is, if you're trying to apply for a job, then that means you're trying for a fresher, right? It is a bit difficult. So what I suggest is you either go for work experience from India. Let's say you have 2 to 3 years of work experience in India, then you try to apply for jobs in Australia. That in that way you will have more chances to get jobs directly. Otherwise, the second thing is after BPharm, students usually go for masters, right? So having masters there adds some value, adds some benefits to get the job in Australia, just as in any other country.
Should I should complete the M-Pharm in India and then get job in Australia easily?
No, even if you do M-Pharm, yeah, see, even if you do M-Pharm in India, still it is a bit challenge to get a job there directly. So if you have some relative experience in India, then that experience can be considered while applying for Australian jobs, right? Or you should have some studies in Australia. So either of these two you should have. If you do M-Pharm, maybe you will be considered for PhD based on your M-Pharm, because still you don't have any work experience, right? So that's how
means agar if I want job in Australia, so we should do the M-Pharm in Australia.
Yes, usually if you do, that is an added advantage, because you're already there in Australia for like 2 years, right? So you will be knowing there, and you will get that added advantage, because the companies will recognize that particular university or college, right? So they, in that way, you will have that advantage to get the job.
So we should get the scholarship in Australia, in the which university we should get the admission.
Sarthak, you can contact us. We will describe everything on the personal call because we have other questions as well here. Or
scholarships, yeah, we will definitely discuss person to person, because it depends from university to university.
And this chat needs time. This kind of chats needs time, right? So you call us personally, and we will discuss definitely. Yes. So, okay, somebody's asking, okay, what is this? Feedback form says already responded. If you are already filled, then need not to fill again. Feedback form is only for one response. If you are filled in the morning or something, it's fine. It's enough. No need not to fill again, sir.
Okay,
So
thank
any
you,
other
sir.
question? Any other question for us? Okay, I think they are
Sir,
done. Yes.
yeah, you have done the excellent things. So
Sir,
right
thank you
now,
very much.
so your efforts from your climate research solutions are very excellent regarding the foreign programs and opportunities.
Can a B.Pharm student can get job in New Zealand or Australia?
Yes, they can get job. B.Pharm students can get job in pharmacovigilance or in but not that what they will get after M.Pharm or master's degree. There are the chances were very less. It is like 5 to 10% chances for B.Pharm students. Once you do the master's degree, that the chances are rise up to 50 to 60%.
Sir, is it possible with experience?
It is an added
Yes,
advantage.
yes, definitely.
Yes, definitely, it is an added advantage.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? Okay, then, guys, I would like to thank all of you. Now, this is the time to take off from all of you, and it was a great day with the some technical glitches and some some mischievous elements. But overall, it was a fantastic. Yes, I think someone has the question. Someone raises the hand. Yaswant Modepalli. Okay, so okay, which is the answer? Can PharmD student get job in UK? Yes, of course they can get a job in UK, and they can do any courses in UK as well, masters courses, MS, and MPH, or you can go for even fellowships in UK. Yes, you can go for fellowships, Fatima. Okay.
Hello, Dr. Ajit.
Yes. Hi, Tariq sir. How are you?
Yes, yes, fine. I, I think now it is the time to wind off that excellent workshop, and
Yes.
I want to thank you especially and your team, Dr. Tarun, and all other one for giving such a marvelous information and guidance to all the students, which are much needed and much required at the present scenario. So on behalf of all the students, either from Integral University or other institute, I must thanks to all of you and the team from the CareerMate and you, and hope in future we will contact for such type of more activity and even more. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for providing this opportunity. Actually, this drive is for students, and I hope they will, and they had, they enjoyed it, and they will take advantage of it, in their future,
Yes,
in their
yes,
careers.
yes,
So
sure, sure, sure.
I hope they will, take advantage of it, and they will learn something, and
Yes,
they
yes,
will
yes.
plan their future accordingly. So
Yes,
definitely.
yes, we will in contact in future, and we will organize such more type of and some more exhaustive exercise and workshop related to that one.
Definitely. We
Yes,
will come up with a tie-up kind of things, and we will
yes,
definitely
yes,
work
yes,
on the
yes,
more and more conferences and workshops, sir, definitely.
yes, yes, yes.
So
Okay,
yes,
thank you very much.
with that, I think this is the time to wind up. I would like to thank faculty of Pharmacy, Integral University, Lucknow, especially Professor Dr. Said Misbahul Hassan, Dean, Faculty of Pharmacy, Lucknow, and Dr. Tariq Mahmood, Head Faculty of Pharmacy, IUL, Institute of Integral University, Lucknow, and then our coordinator, from IUL, Mr. Sohail Akhtar. Thank you very much, everyone. And from our other institute, Chalapati Institute of Pharmaceutical Sciences, and this is an autonomous educational body. We are very much thankful to all of you and especially Professor Ramarao, sir, Principal CLPT, Guntur, Andhra Pradesh, and then Mr. M. Venkataramanna, Assistant Professor, and Mr. Srinu Thala, Assistant Professor from CLPT. Thank you very much for the tremendous job and for the corporation, for your cooperation. Everyone, thank you very much.
Hello, Ajit sir.
Yes. Hi,
Thank you,
Sohail.
sir.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your precious times.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Srinivas sir. Thank you.
Yeah, you have shown the real solutions to the students.
I hope it
Yeah,
works.
yeah. Thank you.
Definitely, sir. Definitely.
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
And
yes,
it
yes.
was a very useful sessions has been done, sir. And thanks to you and your team and for your precious time.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you everyone. So we will just take off. Good day. Have a good day. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye
And
bye. Take care. Goodbye.
see you very soon in our next.
Sir,
Yes.
Dr. Ajit, yeah, can you send the
Yes, sir.
recorded link?
I will share the recorded link right now in your WhatsApp or in your emails. I will send
Yes.
in
Yes, sir.
few minutes.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank
so
you
you
very
can
much.
download directly.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you
Okay.
very
Bye bye
much.
to all of
Bye-bye.
you.
Take care. Bye-bye all of you. Bye-bye
Thank
all
you.
the students and
Thank
best
you, Ajit
wishes
sir.
to all the students. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ajit sir.
Thank you.